When we think of concubines, we usually associate them with women. However, it may surprise you to learn that in ancient Greek society, there were also male concubines who played a fascinating role. These young men attracted the interest and affection of the rich and powerful, becoming involved in a complex dynamic of desire, power, and vulnerability. In this video, we will delve into the intriguing world of male concubines in ancient Greece and reveal facts about their experiences. Prostitution in ancient Greece. Prostitution, an unexpected economic activity of that era, thrived throughout the cities of ancient Greece. It played a pivotal role in the economy, offering sex workers a source of income and social mobility. Interestingly, sex work wasn't concealed in those days. Imagine strolling through the bustling streets of Athens, and you'd stumble upon brothels scattered across the city, even beyond the boundaries of red light districts that existed at the time. These brothels predominantly catered to specific genders, with some exclusively serving women and others specializing in male slave boys. It may strike us as peculiar by today's standards, but the liberal attitudes towards sex work in Greece made such establishments feasible. While contemporary society may frown upon the idea, ancient Greek cities took a different approach. Rather than condemning the workers, they regulated the profession to ensure fair wages for the workers and transparency for those seeking their services. In fact, the renowned lawmaker Solon is credited with establishing state-regulated brothels, where prices were set differently for both sexes. These Solonian brothels were accessible and affordable to all. The taxes collected from these brothels were even utilized to construct a temple dedicated to Aphrodite, the goddess of love. Nevertheless, not all sex workers operated within brothels. Independent prostitutes could be found on the streets as well. Female prostitutes were often foreign medic women who couldn't secure alternative employment, or impoverished widows. On the other hand, male prostitutes, particularly concubines, were usually slave boys from conquered cities, sent to work in brothels until they reached adulthood. And there is a compelling reason behind this, which we shall discover shortly. Among the most notable figures of this world was Phaedo of Elis, who fell into slavery when his city was conquered and was subsequently dispatched to a brothel. However, fortune smiled upon him when the philosopher Socrates purchased his freedom. Phaedo became a loyal disciple of Socrates and eventually a philosopher in his own right. Sadly, Socrates met a tragic end in 399 BCE when he was condemned to death for corruption and forced to drink a poison elixir made from the hemlock plant. While male concubines primarily catered to male clientele, it was not uncommon for them to serve as sexual partners for women, although such instances were infrequent. Greek men would often engage the services of prostitutes for pleasure, companionship, or even entertainment, both male and female. Men in ancient Greece typically refrained from marrying until they reached the age of 30, and conjugal relations within marriages were scarce. Consequently, it was deemed acceptable for men to engage male prostitutes. The existence of male concubines. In ancient Greece, gender neutrality played a significant role in shaping the existence of male concubines. The Greeks were a busy bunch, engaging in various activities like trading in bustling markets, serving on juries, and immersing themselves in thrilling sporting events and other exciting things to observe. The contrasting lifestyles of Athens and Sparta are also worth mentioning. Despite sharing a common heritage, these two cities were worlds apart. Spartans were renowned for their warrior spirit, discipline, and readiness to sacrifice their lives for their motherland. They embodied the word Spartan as we know it today, living austere lives with little interest in pleasure and luxury. On the other hand, Athenians, not soldiers, indulged in a vibrant cultural scene. They were philosophers, politicians, playwrights, musicians, and sculptors. Pleasure was a common pursuit for both, albeit in different ways. Human sexuality among ancient Greeks and Romans. In the realm of gender, the ancient Greeks and Romans possessed a profound understanding of human sexuality. While they acknowledged some distinctions, they primarily viewed sexuality as a multifaceted spectrum rather than a binary division. Unlike today's discussions of fixed percentages, the ancients held the belief that the majority of individuals, particularly men, possessed a natural inclination towards both sexes. Delve into the literary masterpiece known as the Symposium, set in the bustling city of Athens during the 5th century BC. Within its pages, you'll discover a rich tapestry of characters, each of whom has experienced same-sex relationships at some point in their lives. Surprisingly, most of these individuals were also married to women and even had children. Such relationships were not regarded as anomalies, but rather as a chosen lifestyle, a testament to their belief in a fluid understanding of human desire. In their eyes, everyone possessed an inherent capacity for bisexuality. Cross-dressing was not uncommon with the Greeks, with even the mighty Zeus, king of the gods, known to don women's attire from time to time. Zeus was a man's man, but he had a weakness for accumulating lovers, regardless of their gender. The line between male and female was blurred, and one god, Hermaphroditus, symbolized gender neutrality by being depicted as a figure with both male and female attributes. This acceptance extended to same-sex relationships, where the focus was on the role individuals played in the partnership rather than their physical attributes. The world of Greek male concubines. Now, remember our mention of male clientele seeking male prostitutes? In Greece, it was normal for men to find both sexes equally attractive. However, this does not imply that bisexual men in ancient Greece enjoyed a superior quality of life. The power dynamics between males during that time were vastly different from today. The ancient Greeks held fewer stigmas around sexuality than other societies. In fact, male-male relationships were often depicted in art and literature, and certain cities even celebrated same-sex relationships through festivals. Nonetheless, male concubines had the potential for a more favorable existence if they found themselves partnered with influential individuals. A male concubine fortunate enough to be associated with a wealthy and influential benefactor could anticipate receiving an education, exquisite attire, and various luxuries. Most men who became concubines started as slaves and, despite being favored and cherished by their households, were deemed socially inferior due to their lack of freeborn status. Consequently, the prospect of climbing the social ladder was appealing to many. They might be granted opportunities to receive an education and learn skills that would prove beneficial in the future. In fact, some male concubines even rose to prominence as renowned philosophers, poets, or politicians. Even the famed warrior king, Alexander the Great, was known to have taken male concubines during his military campaigns. However, they were always expected to provide sexual services to their masters, and at times, to multiple men in order to fulfill their master's desires and fetishes. In most cases, concubines experienced maltreatment and endured harsh living conditions, often subjected to physical abuse or forced into menial tasks. The average life of a Greek male concubine was highly unpredictable. They possessed little control over their own lives and were essentially treated as property. While some male concubines may have led relatively comfortable lives, many others faced significant hardship and mistreatment. Within these relationships, the older man was known as the Erastes, while the younger was called the Eromenos. The dynamics of these relationships were complex. Not all Eromenos-Erastes relationships were exploitative or abusive, but the inherent power imbalance within these unions made the Eromenos vulnerable to mistreatment or abuse by the older partners. The Eromenos was expected to receive lavish gifts and compliments, but simultaneously denied the enjoyment of the sexual aspects of the relationship, compelled to be submissive to their Erastes in all aspects, even as they matured and outgrew their Erastes. This perpetuated the power dynamics beyond the original scope of the relationship. Curiously, these relationships were occasionally viewed as a means of expressing heterosexual love, with examples of Spartan women dressing in male attire for their weddings to accommodate this belief. After all, the smoothness and youthful appearance were regarded as desirable physical attributes in Greek men, which is why the appearance of facial hair marked the point at which pubescent boys were considered less desirable. Some Erastes even went as far as removing any facial hair on their older boys or men, should it be noticed in public. Such practices often led to discrimination. However, once the younger lover matured or became capable of growing a beard, the relationship typically came to an end, and the concubine's circumstances rarely improved. Undoubtedly, the most promising path for a male concubine to flourish in ancient Greece was to be paired with a powerful man. If their patron possessed wealth or influence, they desired their concubines to be seen as a prize, akin to a trophy husband by present-day standards. Such relationships were not always perceived negatively. Sometimes, they were regarded as a way for a powerful man to mentor and guide a young man. They were respected as a means of transmitting cultural values and skills from one generation to the next, and considered integral to Greek society. But where did this ideology originate? The tale of Zeus and Ganymede. Part of the reason for the normalization of intimate relationships between pubescent and adult men in Greek society can be attributed to Greek mythology. The tale of Zeus and Ganymede can help one grasp why the Greeks allowed acts that would be considered abhorrent in today's society. Ganymede, a prince of Troy renowned for his extraordinary beauty, caught the immediate attention of Zeus, who resolved to make the prince his own. Zeus transformed himself into an eagle, swooping down from the sky to seize Ganymede and carry him away to Mount Olympus, the abode of the gods. Once there, Zeus appointed Ganymede as his personal cupbearer, serving the divine nectar and ambrosia, the food and drink that granted immortality to the gods. Over time, Zeus grew increasingly fond of Ganymede and wished to keep him perpetually at his side. He offered the young man eternal youth and immortality, but Ganymede declined, yearning to return to his mortal life and family. Eventually, Zeus relented, allowing Ganymede to return to Earth, but not before bestowing upon him the ultimate honor, the stars of the constellation Aquarius, forever immortalizing him in the night sky. The impact of Christianity. But alas, the winds of change swept through ancient Greece with the introduction of Christianity. While same-sex unions had never been socially accepted, they were quite prevalent during the early imperial era, much like in ancient Greece. However, as Christianity gained prominence, opinions shifted, and the religion's influence led to legal restrictions against same-sex relationships. The Codex Theodosianus, crafted by Christian emperors, declared such behavior unnatural and illegal, effectively dismantling the practice of male concubines. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Remember to subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and share the video.